It's another week and another, for me, stellar episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Not a lot groundbreaking happened, but I have to say, I don't know what it is. You guys will have to let me know how you're feeling about the season. Because as I've said before, I feel like I see murmurs of people saying, oh, this is a terrible season, it's boring, blah, 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 blah. But the ratings are still rating. Like their live ratings are over 1 million. And according to, the recent Deadline article, I don't know if I believe everything 100% in regards to this, the ratings for Beverly Hills are still very much doing well. And look, I don't base everything off of ratings because ratings aren't a great indicator of the quality of the show that we're watching. Because look, i.e., Real Housewives of Miami. Real Housewives of Miami's live viewers are just a small indication. There is still DVR and multiple day ratings and streaming ratings and things like that. But if we were just to go by the live ratings of Real Housewives of Miami, it would not be an indication of the quality of the show that we've been watching the last 3 seasons. Miami is still stellar, and they are bringing a lot of drama. But this is not about Miami. This is all about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and their latest episode. Next week is their season finale, and I feel like solid because I was very concerned that this season would be so focused on Mauricio and Kyle's drama. And I was like, I don't know how that makes any sense based off the timeline of how everything played out. Remember, I was in Greece when the news broke that they had been separated. So next week during the season finale, that is the season finale. So I'm kind of glad that we didn't spend the entire season talking about Kyle's issues with Mauricio. They've alluded to it from the top of the season. But I was concerned. Go back to my original recap of the premiere. I was like, if we spend the rest of the season talking about the situation with Kyle and Mauricio, I don't know how I'm going to feel about the season. But they've done a good job. Shout out to the producers and the editors. They did a good job because we didn't spend the entire season focused on that. But I will say this. Surprisingly, I think I might finally believe that Kyle and Mauricio's separation and issues is real.
Baby, won't you listen to me? I got that flavor. I know you're dying to feed. I ain't no dancer, just got some hip in my feet. Now throw your hands up. Ooh, you bring the lighter. I got the fuse. You make a fire. I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead. Just watch your shoes. Gotta turn the heat up to get this cool.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe, be sure to share, and don't forget, you can hear and take us on the go with the Kempire podcast on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. Thank you to everyone that has already rated the podcast on those platforms. We really do appreciate your support. Shout out to our channel members. We appreciate them as well for their monthly support. You guys continue to elevate what we do here on this platform during our live shows. Speaking of live shows, we have a live show in DC, a sold out one. Wish you could come. If you didn't get your tickets, fine. March 7th, we will be in Philly. So if you are nearby or will be nearby or want to be nearby, get your tickets. More information on that will be available in the description, along with our Boston date, which I believe is May 30th. And then we have, what was the other date? There was Boston, and then there was, I can't remember. But it will be available in the description, okay? I can't remember. But we have more dates coming, so stay tuned for that. We're just solidifying some of that information. I know a lot of you have been asking, Kempire, you can come here, come here, come here, come here. Please remember, I like to be in my house. I really don't like to be spending the time in the airport and going cross country. Please keep that in mind. So the fact that I'm coming to do live shows where you are, I love it once I'm there and I'm doing it. But the whole travel aspect of it and the plotting and planning of it all, it's a lot of work. Y'all already know how hard I work in other areas of what we do here. So I'm like, oh my God, like leave me alone. Not you guys, but you know what I'm saying. Just the whole plotting and planning of it all. Anyways, don't forget today's live show is sponsored by our friends over at BetterHelp. BetterHelp, as I said you guys multiple times, is a company that we've been partnering with the last few weeks. And I decided a long time ago, last year, well, not a long time. Well, no, my major in college was psychology. So I've always realized the importance of therapy, mental health. But recently, because of the work that we do, because of the topics that we cover, I always said that I needed to prioritize my own mental health. Speaking of which, I was just talking about traveling and doing this and doing that and doing too much. I always have to set boundaries, because if you don't set boundaries in your life with people, with yourself, people will test those boundaries. And I always talk about that with you guys. So when I meet you in person, a lot of you really do respect my boundaries in regards to, oh, can I hug you? In person, once I meet you guys, I am a touchy-feely, huggy person. But, you know, like I'm a New Yorker too. So it's sort of like I like my space with strangers. You guys aren't strangers. You're part of the community. So setting those boundaries and things like that and prioritizing my mental health is a boundary that I've set since last year. So us partnering with BetterHelp for me has been great to give you guys an opportunity to get some therapy if that's something that's been on your mind. All right. So if you've been thinking about therapy, why not give BetterHelp a try? It's entirely online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. I say this all the time. Finding the right therapist is a process. It's a process. But this questionnaire helps to make that process a little bit easier. And keep this in mind. If it doesn't work out with your therapist, you can switch therapists at any time at no additional cost. All right? So why not become your own soulmate, whether you were looking for one or not? Visit betterhelp.com/Kempire today to get 10% off of your first month. That's BetterHelp. BetterHelp, HELP.com/Kempire. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's live show and providing such a very much needed service. All right. And honestly, this was a perfect segue into the very first scene that we get on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But again, for more information on BetterHelp, our sponsor today, be sure to check out the description of this video, or if you're listening to this, in the description episode notes. All right. But like I said, it's a perfect segue because the very first scene that we get is with Erika and her therapist. So Erika talks about what's coming up for her. She's excited about the Las Vegas show. For those that are wondering, have I talked about The Housewife and the Hustler 2 on Hulu? We did on our Tuesday takeover. So if you missed that this week, just head on over there. We've already put the timestamps and things like that in there, so you're able to find all of that. All right. So be sure to check that out during our Tuesday takeover. But I'll say this in regards to The Housewife and the Hustler. It reminds me, again, I'm not completely convinced that, and I've never been saying, oh, Erika knew everything. She was part of the whole plot and setup. No, I do believe that Tom Girardi was the mastermind. And I do believe there were other people at that law firm and other people in power, California bar, politicians, creditors that supported this behavior for the last 30-something years. And that's the only reason why he was able to do this and get over 200-something complaints. But a couple of things that stood out to me from this part two, because a lot of people will say, oh, it's just a rehashing of what you saw in part one. No, there's some new stuff. And I also think it's important for us to keep telling the stories of these victims because they still have not gotten justice. Joey Rui Gomez literally still dealing with pain and things that keep coming up from what he went through. and he doesn't have the funds to take care of those things like he was promised. But the other thing that stood out to me during this Housewife and the Hustler Part 2 was I was like, oh, Tom Girardi was, what's the word? Look, I don't want to say that he was racist, but there was definitely a bias in the way that he would treat a white victim versus his black victims. And that's talked about from the Lockheed victim that's in this Part 2. Talking about the $25,000 that Tom was offering the victims that were black people, and sort of like, that's the biggest amount of money that you've ever seen. Versus when you hear a voice message that Tom leaves for Joey Rui Gomez, even though he stole from everyone. Please understand that he was an equal opportunity stealer, but his treatment was very different. Just wanted to point that out. The other story that not a lot of people are talking about is that Tom Girardi and Erika were, okay, rewinding back a little bit, because there are a lot of details. This is why you have to watch it. I don't have all the details in front of me, but that Marco, the designers, and one of the designers ended up in jail for months being accused of wire fraud, because it looks, allegedly, that Tom and Erika were trying to cover themselves, trying to get money in regards to, why was money sent here and there. It's very complicated. I'm not doing a great job of explaining what exactly went down in that situation, but this man sat in jail for months, missing out, on, his father, I believe, passed away, his brother passed away. And all of a sudden, they just decided to drop the case. I forgot the exact reasoning, but it wasn't a reason that was like, There was a lot more to that situation, but that and what I was talking about with the Lockheed situation over there, those are some astounding new things that come out in this Housewife and a Hustler 2 documentary. They're not paying us over here. But shout out to our friends that were a part of this documentary, Kiki Monique, the Bravo Docket, and Emily D. Baker. So congratulations to them. They provided such great commentary to this documentary. All right, moving on. I say all that to say we have Erika. I look at Erika, I'm telling you, since Barcelona, when she was interacting with the erudites, I'm like, oh, Erika is a dark one. That's why I don't believe she was just some doting housewife that did not know that something was awry with her husband. She may not have known all the details, all right? And remember, she wasn't around for some of that, too, in the early years. But I also don't think that Erika was dumb. I don't think that at all. Just saying, or naive. But this entire episode is really centralized around Erika wanting the group to apologize for how they treated her the last couple of years. So she talks about that in therapy with her therapist. But one of the things that stood out to me, and maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome with her, because she always finds a way to finds a nice thing to say about Tom. And I get it, because she knew Tom differently. All we have heard of Tom and seen of Tom is something like very dark, all right? But she says that, Tom, right or wrong, okay, Tom encouraged her to be where she is today. Erika, can we be honest? Can we have a Kempire After Dark moment? Erika, yes, he funded your music career, but let's not sit here and act as if your music or your music career is where it is today because of your talent. I don't think Erika's not talented at all, but there's a reason why allegedly Tom was paying these places where they're flying to. He funded all of her music career, had her meet with some of the best in the business. Like, there's plenty of pop artists very much like Erika that have no real talent, maybe just are beautiful, and with the right, music, with the right producers, you can make them a star. But the fact that Erika really had not become a star with all of that behind her, you have some of the best people in the business that work with Britney Spears and others, and still your career never really popped off. Some people might say, oh, no, it did. You know, pop the pussy. It didn't pop off, y'all. Let's not sit here and act as if she's a pop princess. We know of her music and we know of her because of this reality show. That helped her more than anything, honestly. Just saying. Let's be real. Besides like the one song, It's Expensive to Be Me, what other songs do you know? And I'm not talking about the gays. Even some of the gays would be like, she's not my, I like her. If a song comes on, I can rock to it, but no. I have to be honest. Although, and I've said this before, I've enjoyed Erika this season because it's a different Erika. It's a lighter Erika. It's a fun Erika. But then I'm reminded of these moments, the fact that she wants this group to apologize for this appeal win. But we've already told you, and in the Housewife and the Hustler documentary, they talk about the earrings as well. This wasn't a real win, Erika, because the earrings, point blank, period, this is a fact. And you try to switch it up on the group to make it seem like this appeal proved something. It proved nothing. It proved that there was a, technical win. But the fact is, those earrings were bought with victim money. So the group saying that your reaction to the victims, your reaction to the situation, and the fact that you're fighting for these earrings, knowing that they were bought with victim money, I'm so glad that Garcelle was the sort of like, I believed what I believed and I'm going to stand on it. She was the only one in the group that was just like, I said what I said and I'm standing on it. Even Sutton was sort of like, I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry. Fine. But I appreciate at least someone in this group is just like, no, I mean, my intention was not to see you fall or fall apart. And I think we can all say that, at least for me in our community, it's not that we wanted to see Erika go to jail. Okay? However, we did want her to have some compassion. Even in the Housewife and the Hustler, in that scene when she meets with the victims, it's like people like that are just that show no real emotion. Those are dangerous people. Saying all that to say, I've digressed so much. She wants the group to acknowledge the appeal win. So she has feelings about that. All right. Sutton goes to visit her horse, Santos. She thinks she sees her horse, but it's not her horse. She's gonna ride Santos for the very first time. As she's riding Santos, Kyle pulls up, and Kyle always has something snarky to say. Oh, the way that she's riding the horse. Has she ever ridden a horse? Guys, go back and watch that scene. Yes, she looked awkward on the bull, but on the horse, I thought she looked fine. Did she look like a jockey or no? But she looked like she knew how to ride a horse. She wasn't hesitant to get on one. I was just like, that just looked like a rich lady on a horse. It's giving very Lisa Vanderpump. So Kyle, but I always say that to say, even Sutton has said her relationship with Kyle is very sisterly. Maybe the evil sister? I don't know. Never a nice thing to say. Always snarky. Okay. Anyway, so they sit down and they have a conversation. Sutton is talking about how, her ex-husband Christian is moving to London for work. And she says he's always sort of been like down the street. So if she ever needed something, she could always reach out to him. Okay. And now that he's moving away, she sort of feels like she's out here on her own. And I know some people are like, what are you talking about? You guys have been divorced for like 6-7 years. But to me, when she explained it, I was like, I get it. Because no matter the fact that you guys are divorced, they came up together. They were dating since they were teens. So there is a real familial relationship there, even if you get a divorce. I think there's still a level of love and respect between the two of them. And probably part of the reason why she ended up getting what she got in that divorce. I know, look, yes, Sutton was smart. Sutton probably did the right things, had the right attorney. But I also think on some level, Christian was sort of like, give her what she wants. Maybe, I'm assuming. But I wouldn't be surprised, especially a man of Christian's level of money and influence. I wouldn't have been surprised if he gave a little more than he probably needed to give, because that's also the mother of his children. Why not? Well, she talked about that. She talked about her marriage struggles and things like that. And this leads to Kyle opening up, because Kyle brings up, so did you and Christian ever go to therapy? Kyle, you are such a producer, because she wanted to bring up the fact that her and Mauricio are in therapy. So she talks about that. She talks about them both working a lot. So because they were both working a lot, they sort of have separate lives now. All right. According to Sutton, her husband, Christian, was going up while she was sort of like staying where she was in regards to their careers. All right. So Garcelle and Jax filmed this cyber bully like infomercial or PSA. PSA is a better word for Cyber Smile, because as you know what Jax went through, not last year, maybe the previous year, or was it last year? I can't even remember at this point. It was last year. Oh my gosh, time is flying. So what he went through with the bots, and we never got to the bottom of who was behind the bots. I know Garcelle said that she was investigating. We never got any update in regards to that investigation. At least I don't recall that. You guys will let me know in the live chat or in the comment section. But I don't think we ever got the results. It's hard to narrow down what that was. And maybe she did, maybe it would just blow up the whole situation, that it just wasn't worth it. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised she found out and maybe she brought it to Bravo. I don't know. Look. So they filmed this commercial, this PSA, her and Jax, because Jax was the one bullied, and Jade is holding the cue cards, and Jade is just fidgeting. So it's this cute banter between Garcelle and Jade and Jax during this commercial. Cute. Then she has a separate conversation with Jax, because she's really contemplating, they're growing up. They're going to start driving, and she's talking about her fears with that, but she understands that it has to happen. But she's also preparing herself that there will be a time when they move off and I'll be alone. She already feels lonely now. And I can only imagine the future of these boys won't be in the house anymore, how she's going to feel. And I hope that Garcelle does find a partner. Not necessarily another husband, a partner. You know what I mean? And friendships, because I think all of that is important. But, I know the black mamas, when they watch Jax and how he speaks to Garcelle, I know they want to hem him up. Don't y'all? Y'all want to hem him up. I know I want to hem him up, because the way that he talks to Garcelle, I'm just like, not that he's rude. I wouldn't say that he's rude. Some of you might think the way that he's speaking is rude. I don't think so, because I think Garcelle allows them the opportunity to express how they feel. She said this since the beginning of the season. I respect it. Because if you grew up in a Caribbean household or a black household, you're supposed to be seen and not heard. And she wanted to break that cycle in which she grew up. So she tries to have a conversation, and she says, I know that things are changing. I'm going to allow you to hang out with your friends, and you can take an Uber. You just let me know when you get there. And he says, you'll try and get better. And she was like, I didn't say that I was not doing well. And he said, I'll take that as a symbol of better things to come. Oh, I know y'all want to hem him up, don't you? Y'all want to hem Jax up. Oh, Jax. Look, they're very different. Jax and Jade may be twins, but they are very different. And Garcelle has said she's figured out, she's learned from Jax that I have to parent them very differently. I respect it. And I respect Jax's the way he is, because he is different. He is a little bit more independent. Jade is needs a little bit more attention. He's a little bit closer to Garcelle. I wonder if Jax is closer to his dad, or is he just independent? He could be just independent. Oh, Garcelle. Whoa, Garcelle. It's going to be all right. You better start that podcast again. Damn it. Anyways, she posted a clip from the podcast that she mentioned during the Barcelona trip with Andy. We need In Bed with Garcelle to come back. I don't know why it didn't come back. I think she's so good as a host. She's naturally charismatic. And there's so many people with podcasts This is a podcast from a reality TV star, but of course, Garcelle's more than reality TV star. But from the Bravo space, this is one that I actually liked and listened to. Just saying. And it's different because she wasn't talking about the show. She was talking about relationships, sex, things like that. Anyways, I say all that to say Sutton and Steve go out on a date. So Steve, is who Sutton met through her matchmaker. They go on this date and it's really cute. And Sutton is reflecting on dating in your 50s, but she was like, if Tina Turner can start a whole new career at 50, I completely forgot about that. And she showed Sutton's like, so can I. So they're playing darts. They're being really cute. You can see Sutton likes him. Obviously, she's attracted to him. He's a good-looking guy. But you can tell from her body language at one point when he's about to throw the dart, she's like, puts her head on his shoulder. She likes him. And they haven't even kissed yet. We find out later. All right? Kyle and Mauricio sit and talk about their experiences with therapy. And Mauricio says, it's fun. And then she's like, well, I wouldn't call it fun. But I kind of got what Mauricio was saying, that if anything, they were communicating better. And Kyle was sort of like, because we're in therapy together, she has these thoughts. And then she was like, oh, I'll bring it up in therapy versus them in real life having those conversations. That's what therapy is. At least that's what I believe it should be. Taking what you've learned in therapy to bring it into your real life, your everyday life. Because once therapy's over, you're going to have to figure out how to have these conversations in real time. Therapy is a great place to start and bring those issues to, but you got to figure out and navigate how you're going to do that without your therapist. That's the whole point. At least that's what I would think. So Kyle seems this is the moment where I was sort of like, oh, this might be real. Like I've said before, what I believe is that Kyle and Mauricio have always had issues. But I feel like, and I've come to this place because then we found out about Lorene and everything like that. Then I was sort of like, well, maybe this is what prompted a lot of her changes in her life. Do I feel like she's putting a little more sauce on it as a storyline? In some ways. But in this moment, just watching her body language, he seems so focused and engaged with her, and she seems so disconnected. For the very first time, I'm really paying attention. I was like, she seems genuinely disconnected. He's trying to hold her hand. She's looking away. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Unless she's really worked on her acting skills, I'm like, wait a minute. I might be convinced here. A little bit. I still feel like she's really exaggerated this for the show. But maybe next week when they have this family intervention conversation, I might feel differently. Because slowly but surely now I'm like, well, maybe the timing is truly real. For me, it's more about the timing versus the problem in their marriage. I believe they've always had problems in their marriage. However, I can see how their work-life balance and how their careers have both become very busy, and him as well. I can see, she said in this episode, they started with nothing to having what they have now. I can see them outgrowing each other. I can see that. But I feel like she's backpedaling recently in regards to some of the things that she said on the show. Okay. We then have Anne-Marie talking, she's preparing for this Mother's Day party that she's going to throw for her friends and the group. And she says that, once and for all, she wants to have a conversation with Crystal and put their issues to bed. We get another scene with Crystal getting ready for the party. And she says she was happy that Anne-Marie called and invited her to this. She felt like it was an olive branch because she also wants to move forward. All right. Then Dorit FaceTimes PK. There are always rumors, at least for the last few years, there are rumors that PK and Dorit live very separate lives. And there's always rumors that they're going to announce their divorce. Even at the top of the season, they were saying that they were going to announce their divorce. But it feels like they really do live separate lives. And I don't know what that necessarily entails, but she's made it her storyline. PK's always in London, and she FaceTimes with him, and she's saying, we need to work on this. We need to make more of an effort of you being around, especially for Mother's Day. Based on the timeline, he's been in London for the last 12 days. He's always in London. Remember, he was in London when they ransacked the house. My thing is, I get it. He has to go to London for work. I'm not sure exactly what PK does nowadays. I think he has like a reality show there. Of course, he manages Boy George, but okay. Especially after your wife's been through what she's been through, like you're still away like this. Like you can't figure out a way of finding work just here in the. I just it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm just saying. There's something suspicious about all of it in my head. Anne-Marie's Diamonds and Mother's Day party. This is Anne-Marie's first time throwing a group event, and I think she did good. There was plenty of food. There was an ice sculpture. What in the Denise Richards? Okay, ice sculptures aren't, unique, but you remember when Denise did it. Beautiful. The home looked beautiful, and she was iced out in regards to the diamonds that she brought there for the group to look at and possibly purchase. I mean, there were a few $1 million things there, and Kyle loves to shop. So the ladies are all arriving. Garcelle is offered from Erika a $1 million ring. She's like, you would have to give a BJ every day for this. And Erika says, gladly. We know you would, Erika. We know it. For you, it's all about the price. Anyways, Anne-Marie tells Erika that she would like to resolve her issues with Crystal. So when Crystal arrives, she wants to have that conversation with Crystal. All right. Sutton arrives with her own drink. She left the house. I love the little cute little scenes with her and Avi. Cute. But I did find it interesting, especially with what people have been saying about Sutton during the season, about her drinking. I was like, oh God, we're sending her to this party with a roadie. She arrives with a roadie, and she seemed like she was a little tipsy. But I will say this. Why, Anne-Marie, you do not have any handrails? I know it probably looks better without handrails, but that seems like a liability, right? Anyways, especially with the glass on the stairs and things, spilled. Anyways, but the ladies all react to Sutton. You brought a drink to a brunch where there are going to be drinks. Interesting. Anyway, so the ladies end up looking at the jewelry. Sutton is like ready to buy stuff. There's a ring there that's like $300 something thousand. I don't think that Sutton is very frivolous. I mean, that ring is just 1 month's spousal support. Just saying. I mean, it's 1 month spousal support. She's gonna make it back next month, and she's got other things. Okay, Sutton, I see you. Anyways. She talked about Steve. She talked about how Steve says, great date. He was already during their last date ready to make another date. He obviously likes Sutton. And he's just like, we haven't kissed yet. Do you guys kiss on the first date? And when I say this, I'm talking about the heterosexuals. Gays, shut up. I want to ask for the heterosexuals. Do you guys kiss on the first date? I feel like on the first date, at least a kiss, right? Maybe or maybe not. Do you have a rule in regards to that? I want to learn. I would think at least on the first date you would at least kiss, especially if you're interested. If you're not interested, I can see no. You know what I mean? Why am I going to kiss you? But yeah, I want to know. Live chat, replay crew. Do you kiss on the first date? And I'm not even talking about sleeping with the person. Just kiss. I just feel like that's an indication of, okay, we had a good date. Now let's see if we have any chemistry. All right? Maybe not. Maybe you all feel differently about that. Anyway, so the ladies are looking at the jewelry. They're very like, this is wonderful. They're very excited. They're very happy with the way that Anne-Marie has thrown this party. So Crystal and Anne-Marie pulls her to the side. I'd like to have a conversation. So they have this conversation, and Crystal says, I think we should just agree to disagree. I want to move forward. I want to let it go. All right. And she's like, I hope that you do too. So Anne-Marie eventually does say, yes, I do want to move forward. I do want to let it go. All right. All right. And they even hug it out. And the ladies are just sort of like afar watching and seeing, how's it going? I don't feel like their issues were that deep. Of course, it's going to get probably ugly during the reunion because it's gotten ugly on social media between the two and in interviews. So Yeah, it's going to continue at the reunion, so we shall see. But based off what we've gotten, I have to say the first 30 minutes of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I was like, wait, where's Eric? Not Erica. Where is 8.5? Where's Cricket? I haven't called them that in this entire live, so I wanted to, just add it in now. Let me just add it in now. You know what I mean? I'm sort of like, where are they? The first half hour, and then we had, she's throwing her party. So I was like, okay, so they're in the episode. We haven't gotten a lot of Anne-Marie. Still, we haven't gotten a lot. You would think at this party that we would learn something new about her. We really didn't. We really didn't. And that's not necessarily her fault. It could be just editing. Anyways, I say all that to say that then the group starts talking about, because they're talking about the diamonds and things like that, and BJs, and then they say that Kyle, because she has all this jewelry, she probably gets the best BJs. No, very much like what you guys were saying at the top of the season. She gets these jewelry. You think she gets the jewelry because Mauricio did something bad, maybe cheated, and he gives her diamonds. That's why she's getting diamonds. It's not because she gets the best BJs. Maybe? I don't know. Erika then decides in this moment to confront the group about them not acknowledging this recent legal win and bring up the things that they said over the last couple of seasons. And Dorit says in her confessional, she was like, well, the way that she was acting wasn't great, and we didn't like it. And yes, people were judging us for supporting her. And she says, in that one moment, does that wash away 18 months of supporting you? Kyle has to point out that her and Dorit had one way of thinking about the situation, while Sutton and Garcelle thought about it in a different way. Garcelle says she had an opinion, and she's going to stick by that for forever. Oh, I loved it. Because what Garcelle is saying is that I didn't want you to fall. I didn't want something bad to happen to you, but I also didn't like the way that you were behaving. I didn't like what you were saying, and I didn't like what was happening. I appreciate that. And I kind of wish that Sutton did the same, but I'm not going to tell Sutton what to do. Sutton does apologize to Erika for the things that she said, because I will agree that Sutton could have handled the situation probably with a little more sensitivity. But we were getting our lives with it when she did it, because we were like, oh, somebody needed to say it, because no one else in the group was saying it. No one else was questioning Erika. And based off this last couple of episodes where Erika makes it seem like this appeal is some big win, and it's a denial that these earrings were bought with victim money, she likes to change the narrative. Okay, she likes to lie. Okay,
Lies, the lie.
Yeah, she likes to lie because it's a lie. The fact is those earrings were bought with victim money. Why are you fighting to keep those earrings? Why are you fighting to keep those earrings when you know that they were bought with victim money? That's for you and your maker. But right now, she still doesn't have the earrings. All right? And it's going to be interesting if that is pointed out at the reunion. If that's not pointed out at the reunion, that's going to be quite disappointing. Andy, I know you're going to do your due diligence. It's already been filmed, but hopefully you did. Because as soon as I watched the episode and we recapped it, I was like, I need to go back and figure out. Because I vaguely remembered at the time when we talked about it, I was just like, I think that we know for a fact that those rings were bought with victim money. And then our friends over the Bravo docket reminded us with the court documents, it was bought with victim money. The appeal win was a technicality. It was a technicality. Okay? Anyways, but Sutton does apologize. She does apologize, and it makes Erika emotional, and she starts crying. Again, I feel for Erika because I do believe that she has had to deal with the brunt of Tom's deeds, but she also benefited for years. And literally, I'm sure there are plenty of things in her closet that was bought with victim money. She just can't necessarily prove it, that it wasn't or that it was. But those earrings, we can. And that might be the only clear receipt. The other money, it's up in the air. It's up in the air. But, I mean, we're not asking her to give up all of her things, but those earrings, you should, I mean, at this point, she doesn't have them. And I honestly don't think that she'll get them. I would be shocked if she got them, to be honest with you. But that might be a technicality, too. We shall see, because as she likes to say, oh wait, not that one.
We're on appeal for legal reasons.
Okay. All right. All right. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about this episode. It was light. We covered a lot. We had resolution with Erika and Sutton, Erika and the group. We had resolution with Crystal and Anne-Marie. We had a lot. We even delved into Kyle and Mauricio's situation. If you had to rate this episode from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? I thought it was an 8. I thought it was a solid 8. I'm looking forward to the season finale. It looks like it's going to be a lot. And I'm ready for the reunion. And Washington, D.C., I'm ready to talk about this. I'm ready to talk about Real Housewives of Miami. I'm ready to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm ready to talk about it all. I look forward to meeting all of you at Kempire After Dark in Washington, D.C. But if you're in Philly or near Philly or will be in Philly, March 7th, we will be at City Winery. Tickets are now on sale. More information will be available in the description. We're coming to Boston. We're coming to Atlanta. That's the other city I couldn't remember at the top. Atlanta. We're coming to Atlanta July 12th, I believe it is. Tickets will be available shortly. Links are available in the description, so you can set up reminders and things like that. But I look forward to meeting all of you on tour. Look, it's a lot already. But we're going to do it. Anyways, guys, thank you to our King's Cards for holding us down in the live chat and in the comment section. Thank you to our channel members. And of course, thank you to our subscribers and those of you watching in the bushes. We appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't. And don't forget, you can take us on the go by downloading our podcast, Kempire, on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. And because we talked about so much in regards to therapy in this episode recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, of course, our sponsor today is BetterHelp. Again, be sure to check out the description on how you can get, starting today, 10% off of your first month with a licensed therapist, which you can switch at any time at no additional cost. More information, again, will be available in the description of this live recap and episode. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to get out of here. I will talk to you guys in the next one, Real Housewives of Miami. Bye, y'all.